Let's talk about the order of draw. Now, I know a lot of you that are just starting phlebotomy. Your main concern is, oh my gosh, how in the world am I going to remember the order of draw, or what? All these different tubes, and they have tests that go along with them? Don't worry, I'm going to break it down for you. Now, let's start off with the concept behind the order of draw. What is the purpose of the order of draw? The purpose of the order of draw is to prevent cross contamination. Okay? What does that mean? What does to prevent cross contamination mean? It means that some additives can mix with the other additives. So, let's start off this way. If I were to collect a light blue tube that contains sodium citrate additive, that can easily be mixed in with heparin, but not the other way around. If I were to collect a heparin, which is a green tube, then a light blue, that can cause coagulation problems. But if I have some sodium citrate inside of a green tube, which is my heparin, there's no problem there. Let's check another one. So if we talk about the EDTA lavender tube and we collect a light blue, again, that causes a coagulation problem. But based on the order of draw, sodium citrate can go into EDTA without no problems. So you understand what I mean? Certain additives cannot be mixed with other additives. That is the main thing that I want you to remember when it comes to the order of draw. Now, here's the trick in remembering the order of draw. Every tube or set of vials have their own categories, okay? So the first category that we're going to talk about is the sterile. Steriles are your blood cultures. That's from aerobic to anaerobic. Even with these little tubes, they have their own order of draws. So from aerobic to anaerobic, this means from air to no air. Remember, A in front of aerobic, anaerobic without air, okay? That is how you remember that. There is a following tube. Let's say you're in office and you don't have blood cultures, but your doctor is still looking for some type of infection or bacteria. There's a tube that can go along with it, and that's your yellow SPS tube. The next category I want you to focus on is coagulation studies. It's only one tube, okay? And that is your light blue tube. Remember, there's a ratio of 9:1, blood to additives, QNS. Don't forget it. Now, the main tests that will always go along with any light blue tube will be your PT, PTINR, PTT, APTT, and your D-dimers. All of these tests have to do with some type of coagulation study. Let's talk about our next set of tubes. These are your clotting activators. Now, what does that mean? Anytime that you put blood into your gold top, your tiger, or your red, you need to wait, put it in your bin or put it in your tray, wait for it to clot for at least 30 minutes. That's these tubes here, the one with the gel. And then for your red top, you'll wait at least 45 minutes for the blood to clot. After it clots, you need to put it in a centrifuge it for about 10 to 11 minutes, and you will see serum on top. With these tubes, you will see the gel rise up to the middle, which holds your white blood cells and platelets, and underneath you'll see your red blood cells, erythrocytes. Now with this one, because it doesn't have the gel underneath, you'll just see your serum on top and then the red blood cells on the bottom. Remember, when you're using the red top, you need to use a pipette to transfer it to whatever tube you need to transfer it to. So it's either going to be this one as your pour off, or it will be an amber, depending on what test is required. Okay? This tube, mandatory. Mandatory. It will not stay in this tube. It needs to be spun down. Remove your serum and transfer it to this pour off or whatever tube you need to pour it off into. Okay? So these are your clotting activators. This will give you serum. They need to sit to clot. Give you serum and send to chemistry. That's your CMP. That's your TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Lipid panel. BMP, basic metabolic panels. Okay? Next, we have our green top. These are your anticoagulants, our heparins. So we have sodium heparin and lithium heparin. One major test that will always go with our heparins is arterial blood gas or ammonia that can be collected in this tube. Now, remember what I said. This category is an anticoagulant tube. Therefore, it is whole blood. It remains whole blood unless your requisition form says, hey, I want you to get this green tube, but I want plasma. Remember, anytime you collect blood in an anticoagulant tube, it will give you plasma. Anytime you collect blood in a clotting activator tube, it will give you serum. This tube here, anticoagulant, sodium heparin, lithium heparin. Important tests, remember them: ammonia and arterial blood gas. Funny thing, both of those tests need to be chilled on ice while sending it to the lab. All of these things, please remember them. Next, we have our EDTAs, okay? This is still part of our anticoagulants. Now, we have our lavender and our pink. We also have the royal blue with the lavender strip on the side. EDTA, it is binding with calcium, which makes it an anticoagulant tube. Now, what department would you send this beautiful tube to? Hematology, you got it right. This tube is mostly used for blood typing. So we would send this tube to the blood bank. Now remember, although they both share the same additives, they do two different things. The tests that are required for this tube would be a CBC, blood smear, ESR, and an A1C. This one here, just blood typing to the blood bank. Anticoagulants. Finally, we have our gray top. So important. This category goes for glucose. Anytime your doctor orders a GTT or a FBS as a fasting blood sugar, you will collect it in this. Oh, and lactic acid. Now, this is a sodium fluoride / potassium oxalate. There's two additives, one to preserve glucose and the other is an anticoagulant. Can you guess which one? It's okay, I'll tell you. The sodium fluoride additive, that portion, is the preservative for glucose. The potassium oxalate is what makes it an anticoagulant. Okay? Now, let's review this one more time. The first set that is drawn will be your sterols. That's your blood cultures, aerobic to anaerobic. Our next set is our coagulation studies, light blue. Next is our clotting activators. Here we go, red, gold, tiger. Then we have our anticoagulants. That's your green, lavender, pink, and the royal blue. And finally, you have your glucose, which is the gray. Don't forget this. Save this, repost, share, and now you know the order of draw.